I was born and raised on that ranch. 300 acres of hard-earned land, passed down from my grandfather who carved it out with blood, sweat, and sheer stubbornness. He didn't believe in banks, politicians, or HOA boards. "You own land. You own your freedom," he'd always say. And for decades, that belief held strong. Then one day, a metal fence showed up on my property line. Not the kind you'd expect from a curious neighbor trying to protect his rose bushes. This was industrial grade, topped with barbed wire, and came with a keypad entry gate and a shiny plaque with the words, "Silver Ridge Estates, HOA, authorized access only." At first, I thought it was some sort of mistake. Maybe the construction crew had the wrong address. But when I called the number listed, I was told very smugly, I might add, that the land bordering mine had been bought out and converted into a planned luxury development, and that the access road I had built, paved and maintained for 20 years was now part of their private community infrastructure. I nearly dropped the phone. Let me backtrack for a second. See, my ranch sits at the base of Windmill Hill, and over the years, development started creeping in from the east. New folks in shiny cars, manicured lawns, and HOA board meetings started popping up like weeds. I stayed out of it. Their world was not mine. But my property line included the only functional road that connected their newly bought land to the main highway. They didn't ask. They didn't even send a letter. They simply built the fence, slapped on a gate, and assumed I'd accept it. Spoiler of that, I didn't. First thing I did? Grabbed my title deed, tax receipts, and survey maps, and headed down to the county office. I spent 6 hours buried in archives until I found what I was looking for. An old easement agreement. See, years ago, my grandfather allowed temporary access to a neighboring farmer, but that farmer sold to a developer, who sold to another, and so on, and somewhere down the line, someone assumed the right-of-way still existed. Newsflash, it didn't. And as it turns out, the HOA had zero legal right to build that gate. But instead of tearing it down, they doubled down. They said the road was critical infrastructure now. That since it served 112 homes, removing it would threaten the safety and well-being of their residents. And get this, they tried to offer me a settlement, $20,000, to relinquish ownership. I laughed so hard I think the receptionist at the county office almost called security. You want to fence me off my own land, build a gate on my road, and then offer me less than the cost of a used pickup to give it up? No, sir. So I got a better idea. I didn't tear down the gate. I bought a better one. I hired a private contractor, the kind who does work for secure facilities and military bases. I had my own reinforced gate installed about 20 feet before theirs, with cameras, license plate recognition, and a full automated payment system. If they wanted to use my road, they were going to pay for it. That's right. I turned their little HOA access gate into the entrance of a private toll road. The signs were clear, large, and legally sound. Private road access by paid permit only. $5 per vehicle per entry. Violators will be prosecuted. I filed all the paperwork, submitted my claim of road ownership with the county, and had it notarized. Took me a week, but once it was done, I flipped the switch. And then, I waited. Day 1? Chaos. Residents lined up in confusion. Horns honked. Some even tried to turn around and take the long dirt road exit through the back, which added a full 45 minutes to their commute. By day 3, my inbox was full of angry emails. The HLA president, some guy named Lyle with a Bluetooth headset permanently stuck to his head, threatened to sue me. I invited him to try. But before he could even file paperwork, the residents themselves were calling me. Turns out, most of them had no idea the HOA didn't actually own the road. They thought it was built as part of the community package. When I sent out a letter with full documentation proving my ownership, About 70% of them signed up for prepaid toll passes. You wouldn't believe the numbers. I made more in the first month than the HOA offered me in their pathetic settlement. Lyle? He wasn't happy. He called a special emergency meeting. I know this because someone in the neighborhood, bless their heart, started secretly forwarding me HOA newsletters and recordings. Oh, they were panicking. "We're being extorted!" one board member yelled. "No," corrected another. "We built our whole subdivision based on a road we don't own. We screwed up." Damn right they did. Meanwhile, I was just getting started. I used the money from the tolls to pave a second lane, hire maintenance crews, and even install solar-powered streetlights. My road was now safer and better lit than half the city streets in the county. I even partnered with a tech company to create an app for payment and real-time traffic updates. $5 a car or $50 a month for unlimited access. Premium users got priority access when there were backups. Guess what happened next? The residents petitioned to remove the HOA board. Apparently, between my toll road and their rising dues, which weren't going toward fixing any real problems, the neighbors decided Lyle and company weren't cutting it. A full recall election later, and boom. New board. New attitude. The new president? A retired judge named Eleanor. Smart, diplomatic, and reasonable. She invited me to lunch. I accepted. We met at the diner in town, where she slid a folder across the table, a proposal. Turns out, the new board wanted to buy the road access fair and square. Not for 20 grand. For $2 million. A fair market value appraisal was included, along with terms that would relinquish all future claims, include maintenance agreements, and grant me a permanent exemption from any HOA oversight for any part of my land ever. I considered it. I really did. But then I remembered something my grandfather told me. Never sell a road you built yourself. You never know when you'll need to walk it alone. So I counted. No sale. But I'd offer a permanent, non-transferable lease agreement at a premium rate with quarterly reviews. In return, they'd agree never to interfere with my land again. Ever. They signed. Now, every time a car drives down that road, I get a notification and $1 in my account. It's poetic, really. They fenced me out of my own land, and in the end, I monetized their mistake. And I kept the gate. Not just as a reminder, but because it turns out the gate makes a perfect spot for my new farm stand. Fresh eggs, raw honey, and homemade jerky. Every Saturday. Special discount for residents who pay their tolls on time. Funny how things turn out.